Hello there everybody, welcome back to Idej Gaming as we continue our Death Penalty Dynasty series. At the end of the last video I mentioned I was thinking about going ahead and simulating the rest of the season, and I decided to go ahead and do it just because I wanted to go ahead and get to the end of the season, get our players progressed, get new recruits in, and actually be able to be competitive in these games where it'll actually be fun for me to play and for you guys to watch. And so I'm going to take y'all through what happened after we started simulating, but as you can see, we did not win another game throughout the rest of the season. We're still on the hot seat, and our job security is all the way back down to 17, so I don't know if we're going to end up getting fired or not this offseason. So after the bye week, we had games against Georgia State, Navy, Michigan State, Bowling Green, South Carolina, Iowa, and Ohio State. As you can see, we got blown out in all of those games. In our final 7 games, we ended up getting outscored 387-7.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Final stats on the season, Jamar Purcell ended up leading us in passing. He had 56 completions on 103 attempts, 550 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions with a 54% completion percentage. Chris Graham, who started every game for us after the FCS win, ended up being second on the team in passing with 60 completions on 170 attempts, 539 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, on 35% completion. Chris Graham ended up leading us in rushing, 146 attempts, 384 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. All of them were in that FCS game that we won. Adam Taylor was second on the team, 124 carries, 344 yards, and 1 touchdown. Keith Jackson, who went down during the middle of the season, ended up with 77 carries for 186 yards. Paul Williams was our leading receiver on the team with 24 catches, 232 yards, and a touchdown. Jeremy Flynn had 20 catches for 232 yards as well with 1 touchdown. And Fred Stevens had 21 catches for 223 yards with no touchdowns, and Calvin Thomas had 19 catches for 203 yards and 1 touchdown. Eddie Covington led us in tackles on the season with 72 as well as 37 solo tackles. Linebacker BJ McLaughlin led us in solo tackles with 39. Left end Justin Harris led us in tackles for loss with 20, as well as leading us in sacks with 7. Eddie Covington was close behind him with 6.5. Cameron Harris had 5 sacks. And Kellen Bryant ended up with 4.5 sacks. Sean Alvarez, who had the game-sealing interception in the FCS win, ended up with another interception on the season. Eddie Covington had a pick, as well as Chris Davis, and Gabe McPherson, the running back, also had an interception. Recruiting-wise, we ended up getting all 5 of the guys that we offered scholarships to. Also, now that we have the 100% scouting skill, I went ahead and scouted these guys to see what their overall is going to be coming in. Derek Good, the number 17 outside linebacker in the country, 3-star recruit, ended up being a 76 overall. Leon Henley, the number 27 running back, 4-star recruit, ended up only being a 64 overall. However, he does have 89 speed, 87 acceleration, and 81 agility. So I think he'll still be good for us. He'll definitely start next year, I figure. But he wasn't going to be that star running back that we maybe thought he could be. Doug Jackson, the number 18 athlete in the country, 4-star recruit, ended up being a 78 overall. He has 93 speed, 88 acceleration, and 90 agility, as well as 82 throw power and 79 throw accuracy. It's looking like he's probably going to be our starting quarterback going into next season. Defensive end Donnie Cannon are probably our top recruit that we got this year, the number 2 defensive end in the country, a 4-star recruit, ended up being a 78 overall. He has 75 speed, 80 strength, 72 acceleration, 78 jumping, 81 power moves, and 84 finesse moves, as well as 90 block shedding. Also has 79 tackle, 75 hit power, 78 pursuit, and 79 play recognition. This guy is going to be a beast for us on the defensive side of the ball. And last but not least, our top recruit, Alex Stewart, 5-star recruit, number 12 athlete in the country, 79 overall, has 95 speed, 96 acceleration, 92 agility, 84 jumping, has 90 throw power and 78 throw accuracy, but he also has 75 play recognition, 87 man coverage, 78 zone coverage, 66 catching, and 79 press. So he might play like running back, he could play quarterback, he could play corner, safety. This guy is just going to do it all for us next year, I feel. So for the rest of this video, we're going to go ahead and advance into the offseason and go ahead and do that. And hopefully we don't get fired. If so, I'll just have to make a new coach and put him in here. So running back Trey Sanders ended up winning the Heisman this year. Sophomore running back from Alabama. Ran for over 1,400 yards, 19 touchdowns, as well as a receiving touchdown. Oh no. So we have been fired. So I'm going to have to create a new coach after the coaching carousel to put in and use for Michigan. I'm curious. After going 1-11, what sort of jobs do I end up getting offered? So the first EA Bad is going to move on to Minnesota as the offense coordinator while we create EA Bad Jr. to take over at Michigan. So here is EA Bad Jr., pretty much the same as our last coach. except we just made them look a little bit different so we can tell them apart if they ever have to go up against each other. So we're back now as the head coach of Michigan. However, we did lose all of our upgrades that we acquired throughout last season, so we do have to start back from zero now. So we actually ended up with the 20th overall recruiting class in the country. So when we were recruiting, we only signed 5 players. However, in the recruiting part of the offseason, even though I had all of the automatic stuff turned off, it went ahead and signed more guys. I think it signed them as walk-ons, so that's not too immersion breaking. I mean, walk-ons can still go to a school even if they don't have scholarships. So we're just going to say that the 5 guys that we signed were the ones that we actually used our scholarships on, and everyone else was just a walk-on. Because the majority of these guys are like 3-star, 2-star, and even some 1-star guys down here. Notre Dame actually ended up having the number 1 overall recruiting class, followed by Alabama, who was able to sign 4 5-stars. My gosh, that's going to be tough to beat in the SEC. Good thing we're independent. So at position changes, we have 4 guys that we need to assign positions to, starting with Alex Stewart, our 5-star recruit. So I only want to end up making one of these guys a quarterback, and since Stewart seems to have the best throw power and pretty good throw accuracy, I'm going to go ahead and make it him. So he's going to be our quarterback. He'll be our starter going into this next season at 79 overall. Now for Doug Jackson, the 4-star recruit. I think we'll go ahead and put him at running back. So now for the 2 walk-ons. One is Jared Walker, a 4-star recruit. He'd be a 74 quarterback, a 71 running back, a 75 receiver. I think that's where we're going to put him because we need some help at the receiver position. And last but not least, Brent Pickens, a 3-star recruit. I'm going to put him at free safety since that'd be where his highest overall is. So looking at training camps, none of our new guys actually got to increase, but we did see quite a few increases from the guys that were on our team last year. Our new highest overall from our returning guys is the kicker Tyler Lake, who had +6 in overall, a +5 to his awareness. He now has 61 kick power and 70 kick accuracy. Jamar Purcell is now our 2nd highest overall quarterback at 59 overall. Chris Graham went up to a 50 overall, and Adam Taylor went up to a 49 overall. Yeah, most of these guys are still very low overall. Nothing really jumping out at me. We'll have to play a lot of them just because we are so thin at a lot of our positions, but it's still going to be rough seeing them out there. So looking at our depth chart going into the season 2, Alex Stewart, the freshman, is going to be starting for us at quarterback. Doug Jackson will be our starting running back. We'll have 4 freshmen starting at wide receiver with Jared Walker, Reggie Rogers, Corey Brock, and Elton Muhammad. Sophomore Dion Hall will be our starting tight end. Sophomore Lance Gordon gets to start again at left tackle. Donnie Cannon, the freshman left end, is actually going to be playing both sides of the ball for us, as he'll be playing both left end as well as left guard for us. Sophomore Cedric Henry gets to return to the starting role as the center. Sean Snyder, the left end freshman, will also be playing both sides of the ball as he plays at right guard. And freshman Ernest Harris will be starting for us at right tackle. As mentioned earlier, Donnie Cannon will also be starting at left end for us. Freshman Jim Bailey starts at right end, and Sean Schneider starts at defensive tackle. Freshman Tim Griffin starts at left outside linebacker. David Hudson, the sophomore, gets to return to the starting middle linebacker role, while top recruit Derek Good, 76 overall, will be starting at the right outside linebacker. Our quarterback, Alex Stewart, is also going to be playing both sides of the ball because we're so depleted on the defensive side, so he'll be our starting corner, followed by freshman Eric Woodard and strong safety Kenneth Hughes. At free safety, we have Brent Pickens, the freshman, and Kenneth Hughes starting at strong safety. Tyler Lake will be starting for us at both kicker and punter this season, and freshman running back Doug Jackson will be doing our kicking and punt returning for us. So here's our schedule for next season. We're going to start off the year with FCS Southeast at home. The team that we got our only win against last season is going to come back, and we're going to see if we can actually blow them out like we should be able to if we were actually a good team. Then we welcome number 20 Minnesota to Michigan as we play a rivalry game with E.A. Bad Sr. as the offensive coordinator at Minnesota, now playing against his son, E.A. Bad Jr., the new head coach at Michigan. After a bye week, we have away games at Utah and Arkansas State before coming home for games against BYU and Texas State, and playing another away game at Navy like we did last year. Following another bye week, we have a rivalry game at Michigan State, followed by a home game against Akron, and concluding the season with a matchup at Iowa, and finally our big game of the year, a home rivalry game with Ohio State. So that was the offseason, folks. Thank you all for watching. In the next video, we're going to be taking on FCS Southeast as well as Minnesota in a doubleheader to start off Season 2. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.